Hey everyone, a very happy Tuesday to you all. I am Kenna. Thank you so much for joining me. I always do appreciate you all being here. And today we are going to dive into Within. This is a game by Crux Games Studios, and the gist of the story is Maya gets a disturbing call from her estranged younger brother, which sets in motion a series of horrific events that stirs the past and threatens to destroy all she holds dear. The itch.io page does say this is fully voice acted, so I'm thinking besides this intro and maybe some final thoughts at the end, no commentary. So you all can just sit back and enjoy the spookiness of it all. I will leave a link to this game down in the description box below because Crux Game Studios has done other indie horror games. Check the okay, well there's your options. Nice and succinct. All right, here we go.
I hadn't heard from my brother in over 3 months, which wasn't unusual. Nick tends to disappear for months at a time, not returning my calls, and then he surfaces again as if nothing had happened. I've gotten used to it. I don't blame him, considering the childhood we had. I've read somewhere that siblings with shared traumatic pasts tend to grow apart faster when they're adults. Then, last night at around 3 a.m., he left a voice message. I heard it when I woke up a few hours later.
Maya, I hope you're okay. I know I haven't been in touch, but I just wanted to let you know. You may not hear from me again. For a while. I don't want you to worry, though. I'm in a spot of trouble, but nothing I can't handle. I'll figure it out. Whatever you do, don't come looking for me. I'll call you when things are right. I know I haven't said this enough, but I do love you. Always have. Goodbye, Maya.
I must have called him dozens of times, but there was no answer, and then his phone was switched off. I took the next available flight out early next morning. I didn't sleep a wink on the plane. I kept thinking about what kind of trouble he might be in. As soon as I landed, I checked into a motel and then took a cab to the last address I had for him. In the pre-dawn light, the city seemed to grow more decrepit the further in I went, like a thing whose core was growing rotten. I don't know what kind of trouble he's in, but when we were growing up, after Ma died, when it was just the two of us, he'd come to me when he was in real deep and needed saving. And I would save him. I should get this over with quickly. I'll find him, make sure he's okay, then head back. I'm already missing a day at work. Let's see, he should be at apartment 405. Looks like there's a pipe busted up in there. It isn't a good idea to move this scaffold. It looks flimsy. I should just find another way around it. Hello? Huh, where'd they go? There was someone just here. Well, this is it. I should just ring the doorbell, see if he answers. Although if he's been drinking, I don't have much hope. I guess he's either not home or he's sleeping off a drunken binge, which would not be entirely surprising. Maybe I should just try to open the door and let myself in. Gosh, what is that smell? Nick? Nick, are you here? There's gotta be a light switch somewhere. How is he living like this? This is terrible. Looks like he's literally living out of a suitcase at this point. He told me he was making money on a freelance web development gig. Was that all a lie? What's he doing with the money he gets? Didn't know he kept this old picture of Ma. This was taken maybe a year before she died, before the cancer started turning her into skin and bones. When Ma got sick, he was 8 and I was 15. We watched her waste away and die from cancer. We never knew our father. No kid should have to lose both parents so early. We moved in with Aunt Sheba after that. She mostly left us alone, so I had to pretty much raise him. Or at least I tried. I did the best I could, but hell, I was dealing with my own demons. I guess I made a pretty poor substitute for Ma. Right, like this is gonna keep me out. Nick, are you in there? Are you okay? Open this door. I guess I should find some other way to get it open. I think I just lost my appetite. What is he doing to himself? Once I find him, I'm gonna have to see about getting him some real food while I'm here. Why can't he get a bed like a normal person? Would it hurt to clean up a little? The first thing I'm going to help him do is clean this place up. That alone should bring some positivity to his life situation. Well, there you go. Looks like he's fallen off the wagon again. Oh, Nick. I sometimes think, if he hadn't had that accident, if his best buddy Alex hadn't been killed, things might have turned out different for him. He was 16, driving home from a party. Alex in the passenger seat. Nick had no business being behind the wheel that night. He was drunk out of his mind. Alex was killed on the spot. Nick survived, but he could never forgive himself for Alex's death. With Ma gone, I was supposed to be the parent. rein him in. I should have been tougher with him. I messed up there. I guess I neglected him when it mattered. That's on me. He's probably been in this apartment for what, 10 months now? How much would it hurt him to get a cupboard to put his clothes away? This looks like it could use a cleaning, like everything else here. Hello? Nick, are you in there? Quit playing. Jeez. Hello? Hello? How did this door open? I see his taste in music hasn't changed. All the death metal and occult stuff he was always into. Well, at least I know where all his money's going. But where the hell is he? I wonder if he still actually plays. He was obsessed with the guitar for a while in school, formed a band. They weren't all that good. Lasted all of 6 months. He used to love these consoles growing up. He'd spend hours locked into those games. I guess it was an escape for him after Ma passed and we were living at Aunt Sheba's. The worst period of our lives. He was such a quiet kid back then. Just trash. I'm not digging through that. I should check this computer. Maybe it'll give me some clue to what's going on with him. A USB drive? Let me see if I can find one. A USB drive? Let me see if I can find one. Random drawer junk. Nothing useful. This could be it.
I finally got it all set up. The Sandbox OS, a heavily secure modded Linux variant running as a VPC, and the game contained within. This may be overkill, but it's better to be precautious considering the rep/urban legends around this game. A single exe file, not very cleverly named, no instructions. To think it took me nearly 6 months to track it down on the dark web. The things I had to trawl through to find it, things I don't think I can ever unsee. I don't have much hope for humanity anyway. We're broken beyond redemption. I'll continue taking notes in these text files. If this game is the real deal, it'd make for an interesting reading. I could edit it and put out a Reddit post maybe. Maybe do an accompanying video playthrough would be a cool way to start that gaming content channel I've always wanted to, but never got around to doing it. It's easy to start a channel, but not easy to consistently put out content. I admire those who do. With my track record of starting projects I eventually abandon, I think I know how that'll end up. Anyway, first things first, I have to get the game to work. It keeps crashing when I click it. The lore says that it works at random. You just have to keep clicking. The code is probably corrupted. The urban legends around the game are fascinating, if not profoundly disturbing. For example, a guy who played it
Wait, that file wasn't there before. I'm sure of it.
Got it to run. First impressions? Creepy, but mostly crappy. A grainy, pixelated PS2 era style walking sim. I hate walking sims. Why do people make them? The game's also unstable, crashed 4 times already. Good thing I sandboxed it. It's chewing up OS files and then randomly spitting them back. How is this OS still going? It's lost system folders, everything on the desktop, including my playlog texts, and even the recycle bin. The game has no credits, no title screen, no save load. After every crash, it randomly teleports you to different levels. It was hard to find, had to trawl through fake leads and BS. I would have given up sooner had I not believed there was some truth to the stories. I finally stumbled on the game almost by accident, following an unknown link to a file dump on an Onion server. I found it amidst cryptically named zipped archives, many of them full of unspeakable images. The myth of the game, which I pieced together sifting through volumes of shitposts for slivers of truth, suggests that only one copy can exist at a time, and that it selects the player by allowing itself to be found by those seeking it. It is said to have been birthed in the dark web, that seedy underbelly of humanity's worst impulses, forged not by human hands, but by some unknown force. As I spend hours digging into this, the old compulsions are inexorably returning. Dark thoughts, guilt, a craving for alcohol. I've started drinking again. It's impossible to resist. The symbols in the graffiti are pre-Sumerian, suggesting an ancient entity, likely a greater demon that latches on to its hosts. Perhaps most disturbing of all is the notion that it can
What the hell is this? Nick! I'm pretty sure that was Nick's photo in there. But that makes no sense. I've got to get this game going again. Jeez, that scared me. Just the lights. The electrics here are falling apart, like the rest of the building.
Getting worse, growing signs of malevolence, waking nightmares, oppressive thoughts, general malaise, an intense craving for defilement. Weird sounds from the other room. Voices, footsteps, shifting shadows. An hour ago, the webcam turned on by itself and took a pic. I was able to identify the entity from the symbols in the graffiti. Baal Nagin, aka the ill spirit of guilt and grief. Here's the entry from Deacon, perhaps the only demonology wiki with some authenticity. A greater demon from pre-biblical times, first worshipped by the Lagani sect and then Sumeria, requires human sacrifice, feeds on fatalism, guilt, and grief, manifests in the recurring nightmares of killers and the lust, regret cycles of sex offenders, and the dying fugue of dead men walking, and the guilt borne by family members of suicide victims, and the PTSD of war survivors, and the haunting dread of good people gone irrevocably wrong, a vile, parasitical being that consumes those who it selects. I thought at first that there was no point to the game. I just walked from point A to point B, activating shrines. But the simplicity could be deliberate. The pattern of the symbols, the piles of refuse and filth, the writings on the scrolls, all of it suggests an invocation. If so, the point of the game may be to simply complete it. Have I made a terrible mistake? What have I awakened in the deep dark? The game is trying to...
Help me. Please. You have to help me.
Nick?
I'm scared, Maya. It's awful here. Please, help me.
That was Nick's voice, I'm sure of it. I'm gonna get this PC going again. Hello? Is someone there? It's too dark in here. I should get the lights on. I can't leave just yet. I need to find Nick. Oh, that's awful. How could the picture have changed like this? nobody. But that's impossible. Nick. But his face. What is happening to me?
I saw Alex today. He was here, in the apartment, standing by the far wall. He looked the same as he did when I saw him all those years ago on a gurney in a morgue the day after the accident. His dead body cold, his face split open, his eyes wide. Despite his horrific wounds and the odd angle of his neck, he was somehow still alive. He called out to me. He was grinning, but I saw the hatred in his dead eyes. I survived the accident, even though I was the one drunk and driving. I was flung out of the car and came to unhurt except for a few scratches. He wanted me to follow him. I begged for forgiveness, but I know it's too late for that. There can be no redemption for a man like me. I must go after him. I have no choice. First, I have to call Maya. I have to warn her. I have to tell her to stay put, not come looking for me. Because I know Maya. She'll come looking if she doesn't hear from me for too long. She still feels responsible for me, even after all these years. Still blames herself for my failures, even though she absolutely shouldn't. If only she knew that she's the last good thing left in my life. The reason I'm alive is because she saved me 1,000,000 times already. But she can't save me this time. Not from this. And I can't let her get hurt. If she comes here...
What the hell was that?
Nick, wait! Nick! Nick!
Nick! Nick, stop! It's me! What the hell?
Maya. Down here. Come quick.
Maya, come on. I'm waiting for you, Maya. Where are you? We're all waiting. You can't save me, Maya. You never could. Even when we were growing up, you couldn't even protect me from myself. The accident, Alex's death, my miserable life, all of it could have been different. If only you'd done what you were supposed to do.
Who are you? What have you done to my brother?
Sometime later, I found myself back in the apartment. I couldn't remember how I got there. There was no sign of Nick, or the thing that had looked like him. And his computer would no longer turn on. I did the only thing I could. I filed a missing person report and flew home. It's been 6 months since then. I've tried every possible way to locate him, but there's been no word from him. I keep thinking about the thing I saw at the bottom of those stairs, the thing from inside the game. When it came at me, just before its awful malevolence could engulf me, something or someone stepped between us and shielded me. I think that's how I got away. I think it was Nick who saved me.
Oh, wow, that was the end? Oh, I actually wasn't really expecting that. One might say expectations subverted. All right, folks, well, that was Within. I enjoyed that. I thought it was pretty darn good. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, the thing that stood out to me most was the voice acting. I thought the voice acting was really well done in this. Very clear, concise voice actors. I will say I did feel like there was maybe a little too much narration, a little too much exposition. I understand you have to give context to the story. I understand exposition, but I do think there is a line, and this came really close to crossing it, if not outright crossing it a few times. I did enjoy the sibling relationship. A lot of times in horror games, you get parent-child relationships, so I do like the brother-sister dynamic in this game. I thought the music was really good. It definitely set the tone and the atmosphere, and I do think it's all original. I think the devs came up with the music on their own. Like I said, I wasn't expecting that ending. I mean, there's a lot of horror games I've played where the ending wasn't good, but this kind of, kind of left your imagination to kind of decide what maybe happened to Nick in the end. So yeah, I thought that was actually pretty good. I will say these two characters just were dealt the trauma pack of life, weren't they? And I've said it before, horror is interesting because a lot of it does use the theme of or the mechanic of people who are traumatized. Typically there is some kind of weakness, especially if it's unresolved trauma, and because of that it makes them more susceptible to evil, malevolent things coming for you, taking over you, something like that. Kind of with the narration exposition, it almost was just a little too much trauma. You know, I know people get dealt bad hands in real life, and this is a game, let's be fair. But yeah, I was like, well, damn, you guys just aren't catching any breaks. It just sometimes if you give a character too much trauma, it becomes too much. It kind of takes you out of anything. So, but all in all, I thought this was a pretty decent game. I think it was a good length. Crux Game Studios have done several other horror games. I think I actually have one of them on my itch.io, or in my itch.io library, that I haven't played yet, so I might have to get to that. But that's what I have for you on this Tuesday, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, think about leaving me a like. I appreciate it. Think about subscribing. You can share the video. That is totally cool. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Pop in to say hey. Let's chat. Let's have a rap session, guys. But yeah, that's it. I will plan to see you all Thursday. So until then, have a fantastic Tuesday. Take care. I do think I am going to let the credits roll, so everybody who was involved in this game gets credit. And like I said, I'll leave a link to this game down in the description box. So yeah, again, take care, and I will see you later this week. Bye!